Welcome back to the second and the final part of this tutorial, where we're going to be attaching a sleeve onto the top. So like I mentioned earlier in the previous part of this top, you can work with this top without the sleeve, but if you want to do the sleeve, you need to get your yarn and make a slip knot. We are using the 4mm hook just like we were. Then you're going to get the middle part of the sleeve part. So while holding it like this, I'll determine my middle part, which is this part right here, and into that gap right there, I'm going to reattach my yarn using a slip stitch like that. Then I'm going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the chain 4 acts as our first double crochet plus a chain 1. Then I'm going to yarn over, go into that same stitch with a double crochet. Then chain 1, go into the next stitch or into the next gap, which is a double crochet row with a double crochet. Chain 1, go into that same gap with another double crochet. We have like two double crochets with a chain in between into the same stitches. Then in the same gap, into the next gap, which is this one right here, we're going to first chain 1 and go into that gap with 1 double crochet. Chain 1, go into the next gap with 1 double crochet. So as you can see, we have 2 double crochets into the same gap, 2 double crochets into the next. The next one gets only 1 double crochet, and the next one gets only 1 double crochet. Then the following gap, or the gap that follows, is going to get 2 double crochets into the same gap, but there should be a chain in between. So chain 1, go into the next gap with a double crochet. Chain 1, go into the same gap with another double crochet. Chain 1, into the next gap, work a double crochet. Chain 1, a double crochet into the same gap. So we're going to have 2 double crochets into the same gap 2 times, then 1 double crochet into the next 2 gaps. So I just did the first one and the second. So the next gap is just going to get, you're going to chain 1, go into the next gap with just 1 double crochet. Chain 1, go into the next one with just 1 double crochet. Then chain 1 into the third one, a double crochet, chain 1 into the same gap, a double crochet. I hope you're getting the concept here. We are placing 2 double crochets into the same gap, 2 double crochets into the same, then 1 and 2, 2, 2, then 1, 2. So we have 2 double crochets. The next one will be a chain, then 2 double crochets, 1 double crochet, chain 1, another double crochet into the same gap. So right now we are onto the stitches. We are not working on the gaps anymore. The gaps are just on the part that is below the armpit. Then all the way around, we're going to have the stitches. So we are onto this stitch, and that stitch gets, we chain 1, and then we place a double crochet into that stitch. Chain 1, a double crochet into the next stitch. Those are 2 double crochets, 1 into each of the stitches. Then we're going to chain 1. Into the next stitch, we're going to place a double crochet, chain 1, and another double crochet. Then chain 1. Into the next gap, place a double crochet, chain 1, another double crochet. Then chain 1 into the next stitch, 1 double crochet. Chain 1, skip over to the next and place a double crochet. And so this is what we're going to repeat all the way around the sleeve till we get back to the starting point. And so right now I chain 1 into the next stitch, double crochet, chain 1, go back into the same stitch with another double crochet, chain 1, move on to the next stitch with a double crochet, chain 1 into the same stitch, another double crochet, then chain 1 into the next stitch, just 1 double crochet, chain 1 into the other stitch, 1 double crochet. So keep repeating the pattern till you get back to the starting point. At the end of that row, we're going to chain 1 and slip stitch onto the chain 3 of the first chain 4 stitch. So count 3 stitches or 3 chains and slip stitch, and that's the end of the first row of the sleeve part. Then we're going to chain again 4 and turn. Then we're going to yarn over and go on top of the next double crochet, this one right here. We place a double crochet on top of it, chain 1, place a double crochet onto the next double crochet, chain 1, place a double crochet onto the next double crochet. So in this row we're just chaining 1 and doing double crochets on top of the previous double crochets. Very simple row. We're just chaining 1, double crochet on top of the previous double crochet, and we're going to do this till we get to the end of row 2. Once you're done with the last double crochet, you're going to chain 1 and then complete the row by slip stitching onto the chain 3 stitch of that first chain 4. Row 2 is done, so we're going to chain 4 and turn, and we're going to work row 3 the same way we've worked row 2. So after the 4 chains, we're going to yarn over and do a double crochet onto the next double crochet, chain 1, do a double crochet onto the next, chain 1, a double crochet onto the next. And I'm going to work rows that are similar to row 2 for a total of 15 rows. So already I am in my 3rd row, so I'm going to I'll count 15 rows from this point. So I'll do 13 more in order to get to 15. Once you get to your 15 rows, we're going to do the edging on the sleeve part. After the 15 rows, this is what I have on the sleeve, and I feel like at this point you can cut off the yarn and leave your sleeve like that, and it's going to be pretty awesome. However, I'm going to proceed and do the edging on the sleeve, just so that we can get the original design we set out to make, but you can go with either of the two. You can have the sleeve like this, or you can do the edging. So chain 1, and at this point we're going to work without turning. At that point where I've chained 1, I'm going to place a single crochet. Then I'm going to skip over. So I'm going to skip 1 double crochet and work a single crochet into the next double crochet. Skip a double crochet, work a single crochet into the next double crochet. Skip this one, then work a single crochet into the next. Skip the next one, work a single crochet into the one that follows. So we're just going to be skipping a double crochet and working a single crochet on top of the next double crochet. So skip, work a single crochet on top of that double crochet, skip this and work a single crochet. And this is what we're going to repeat till we come back to the starting point right here. At the end, I'll skip this and work a single crochet into that first stitch, then slip stitch onto the first single crochet, and the first row of the sleeve edging is done. And the sleeve is still quite very big, so the next row we're going to chain 1, work a single crochet into the first stitch, and again we're going to skip a stitch. So skip this, work into the next, a single crochet, skip the next single crochet, work a single crochet into the next, skip this, and then work into the next. And then we're going to skip all the way to the end of row 2. It's round 2 of the edging. Because we are working in rounds, we are not turning, it's going to be a round. So I'll skip 1 single crochet and work a single crochet into the next one all the way to the end of the round. I'm at the end, and so I'm going to slip stitch on top of the first single crochet to complete round 2. Round 3, chain 1, begin with a single crochet and work a single crochet all the way around into every stitch. This time round, in round 3, we are not skipping a stitch. We just work in 1 single crochet into each of the stitches. Then you want to ensure that this patch is able to fit on your arm. So you can try it on and make sure that it fits well. It should not be too tight or too loose. So when you're reducing, just make sure that you don't reduce such that it becomes too tight. So in round 3, I'm just working 1 single crochet into every stitch all the way around. Slip stitch on top of the first single crochet to complete round 3, chain 1, go back into that stitch with a single crochet, and in row 4 we're also going to do just 1 single crochet into every stitch, and we're going to do this for a total of 5 more rows. So there's row 4, I'll work up to row 9, and once I'm done with the 9 rows of single crochets, I'll be done with the edging on the sleeve. At the end, slip stitch, chain 1 and cut off the yarn, and the edging is done. If you notice that your edging is too tight, then I would advise that in the second row, in the second round where we were skipping each stitch, we were skipping 1 single crochet, you can do 2 single crochets, then skip 1, 2 single crochets, then skip 1. Instead of doing 1 single crochet and then skipping, do 2 and then skip. This is quite okay for me. It fits on my arm, on my, yeah. And at this point, the top is done. All you're left with is to weave in the ends, this particular end, and any other ends that you may have. So thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the tutorial. If you've enjoyed the tutorial, kindly leave a comment, like, subscribe, and share.